What's going on, guys? I'm Tommy, and I'm coming at you with an action figure review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Hasbro The Black Series Astromech Droid Holiday Edition. If you know me, if you know the channel, you know that I'm a big Christmas guy. I go all out when it comes to Christmas time. I do Christmas streams on the channel, all kinds of special stuff. So with that, I'm always excited to see new additions to Hasbro's ongoing Holiday Edition subline. Now, this was one of two holiday figures that got released this year. Originally, this was a Walmart exclusive. That was the impression I was under, but since then it's been released at several other online retailers. There's definitely some new stuff about holiday figures that they've incorporated this year that I really like, and I'm going to talk about that more in the video, but let's start with the packaging here. So this is the standard style of packaging you have for the Black Series here in 2025. At the top of the box here you have your Black Series logo, a nice big plastic window showing you the figure, his companion, and all of his accessories. Over here in vertical text you have the character's name, and then there is a red banner down here as we usually signify the media it's from. In this case it's just a red ribbon. Down here some of your logos, and you'll see kind of on the background of the box here, instead of just the drab black and gray colors that we usually have in the Black Series, we have these little character snowflakes here. You can see Grogu's head on some of them, as well as the Astromech Droid dome. On this side of the packaging, where usually you have your mural art, on this side you actually have that bow that I was talking about with that ribbon before, character name down at the bottom, more of those snowflakes, and then there is a kind of a postage stamp you can kind of see that bleeds over to the back of the box, and you have a to and from in the Arabesh language, a stamp on the postage stamp of the Astromech dome from the snowflakes there, and you have the little rebel insignia there as well. On the back of the box you have your Black Series logo, the name of the figure again, and a bio in about 1,000 different languages. This bio reads, "Celebrate the season with specially designed Star Wars figures from the Black Series." Down below that we have all our legalese. Guys, please don't feed this action figure to your babies. On this side of the box, you have a bit of a wraparound window here, as well as that same banner and the Black Series logo. Down here on the bottom of the box, even more legalese, and on the top, nothing except for the snowflakes. So that about wraps up the packaging. Let's get this thing opened and we'll check it out. Alright guys, here's our Astromech Droid out of the box. Before we take a look at him, let's first take a look at all the accessories he comes decked out with. Let's start with the one that honestly I think is a great inclusion to the holiday waves for both Halloween and Christmas this year. And in this case, it is a Santa hat with a Santa beard. Now this is kind of nostalgic for me, the way that this is put together, because it reminds me a lot of those cheap cloth Santa hats that you can get at Walmart and different craft stores and stuff. We always had those around the house when I was a kid, and I still buy them to this day because of that nostalgia I feel for them. This was a great inclusion. You can see that it's sewn so that the beard is actually sewn into the bottom of the hat, and this is really fun. This is really clever, and I love that they've gotten a lot more creative this year with all of the holiday figures by incorporating some sort of new soft goods on every single figure to really elevate the level of creativity that they can have with these. Moving on, we have some more generic accessories for our Astromech droids. So this guy does come with the rocket thrusters here, which is a great inclusion. You can actually remove some of these panels on the legs. I'll show that in a little bit here, but they do have the blue blast effects here. These remove just with little peg systems. You can put them right back in, and they stay in there pretty nicely. Obviously, they'll pass the shake test, which is what we want to see, done in a nice gold color with minimal white paint application. Another pretty standard accessory for a lot of our newer Astromech droid figures is just the little arm attachments. You only get one in this one here, but this one actually has a utility to it, so I'm very happy that they included at least just one, done in gold plastic here. And then of course, this is a really clever accessory if you ask me. This is Yoda's cane from a previous Yoda figure release. However, it's painted to look like a candy cane. I think that that is such a clever thing, and I can't believe they haven't thought to do it before this, but I really think there's a lot of creativity. Props to the team for this one. Now, every single holiday figure usually comes with a small companion character, and in this case, they went with Grogu. And this is the second time, technically, that Grogu has made his way into the holiday line. He was with the Holiday Scout Trooper that came out a couple years ago now, and he was just the head of Grogu, though, in the bag. It wasn't the full figure. So it's really cool that you get Grogu in his full effect with this time around. Really, the only difference between this Grogu and any previous Grogu release is that obviously this one is decked out to have a Santa-style get-up on here for his onesie. You can see the white paint at the cuffs for the sleeves and at the neck there. And then other than that, it's really just all the same. He's in that sitting position that we've gotten with some of the recent Grogu releases. He does have technically ball joints at the shoulders here, although they don't have much range. You can swivel them a full 360 degrees. And then of course he does have little ball joints at the wrists. Those do swivel and they do move in any direction that you turn them in. And then of course at the head too, you have that little ball joint. It doesn't have too much range to it, but again, it's a little sitting Grogu. At this scale, what more could you ask for? Alright, now let's take a closer look at our Astromech figure. So again, kind of like I mentioned before, if you have any of the newer Astromech figures, some of which I have reviewed on this channel, then you'll kind of know what you're getting with this figure. This is the R2-D2 style one here. So what's really clever about this guy is the paint application. So he's obviously painted up to look like that Santa Claus look. I actually like how they gave him the little gold paint application at the bottom of the chassis here with that black stripe at the bottom to kind of signify a Santa belt. The bottom is left white for the trim of the jacket here, and then for more of that trim here, you have the paint application in white up the center of the chassis. Now at the top here, you actually have that same gold sculpting, which is honestly kind of looks like it's marbled a little bit, and it also looks like it's got some sparkle sculpted in there to really give it a nice shine. And they've done a great job on top of that of giving different green and red paint applications for the photoreceptors on the front, and there is also a lot of white paint application here as well. You do get a couple removable panels at the top, this one here and this one here. However, I mean, there's not much you can do with them because he doesn't come with his sensor scope on this figure, and the idea is that you'll have the Santa hat on him anyway, so it's cool that they still include it for customization later on, but it's honestly, for this look, I think it's fine that they didn't include any accessories for it. Other than that, here you can see a lot of the panels and stuff done in different colors of sculpt than what we're used to, and then the sides of the legs here also have some nice paint applications with some white and some gold. Down here they emulate Santa's boots too, with the black down at the feet with some white for the cords there. Overall, a very nice looking figure, and I think they did a great job of giving him the Santa look. Our Astromech droid here does of course feature a swivel at the dome here, so you can turn his head a full 360 degrees. He does also have the feature for the storage, like a lot of the new Astromech droids have. So if you pull the head up, it comes out about this much, and you can see 6 different slots for you to put in all kinds of different arm attachment accessories. This is done in a little bit of a paler white than what we see painted on the figure, and that is honestly good storage for our little Yoda cane and also the grabbing arm there. The panels on the front of the chassis do pull out. They're kind of hard to get open. I've always had a little bit of difficulty getting these ones open here. There's supposed to be little pull tabs here, and that's what you can kind of see I'm picking at, but getting them to actually move on their own can be pretty frustrating sometimes. But at the end of the day, how many people are really going to have it posed this way? So while it's frustrating, I really don't care because I'm never going to pose the figure like this anyway. You also have panels here that do open, and this is going to be what we use for our little grabber arm here. Again, I do wish that these little panels on the front had pull tabs of some sort, because again, as you can see, I'm kind of having some issue getting these hinges to open here. However, if you are able to wedge your fingernail in there, you are able to get the panels open. You can see each side is going to have 3 peg holes for some arm attachments. On top of that as well, you do have swivels on the, I'll call them the hip joints of the droid. Those do move a full 360 degrees. You also have some hinges down here at the feet. I would say those get you about 30 degrees in either direction, so you can get him into some good posing there. And then of course, our last feature on the droid is that you have the center leg, which does pull out here. This is again not my favorite feature. However, out of the newer Astromech droids, I definitely had the easiest time getting this out. I just wish that they had a little bit more of a pull tab system, if that makes sense, a little bit more leverage for my fingers to get up in there so I can get these pulled apart. But this has its own little hinge at the ankle, I guess I'll call it the ankle of the foot there, and you can see that you can get it about 30 degrees forward or back, and there we go. You can get him into his nice pose there where he's in the rolling mode. Let's get him decked out with some accessories now. So like I said before, these panels on the legs, they do remove. You just pull them off and you can replace them with your thrusters here, and then as you can see, we'll just get the thruster effect back into the thruster itself, and that's what that looks like on the figure. Really nice that you can have him standing up straight and imagine that he is flying. Unfortunately, you don't get like a flight stand or anything with this figure, but I think it's still a great inclusion that they give you the thrusters. Here's what it looks like with both of the thrusters on with their corresponding thruster effects, and I think this is a great look for the figure. Looking at the soft goods here, you can actually kind of stretch it over the droid's dome and have it cover the photoreceptor completely. However, I think what we want here is for the cutout of between the hat and the beard to show the droid's photoreceptors, and this little nub here does a really good job of catching the beard so that this thing doesn't just fall off, and even though it's on there pretty loosely, you can still get it to do its thing. And I wonder, can you get it to like hang off to the side as well? Yeah, you can. That's actually pretty cool that you can get it to do that, so you can get a different Santa look. It doesn't have to be hanging straight up, and I think I like this more. And then finally, as far as our little attachment goes here, we'll just pick a slot. I'll pick the middle one here, and then with that in on the figure here, we will take our candy cane and just have it hanging on the droid here, and here's what he looks like now. Everything said and done. Looks pretty awesome. And in true fashion of all my reviews, you can, of course, get this guy into a one-legged pose. But overall, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this review. This is a really, really fun release, and honestly, I think that the two new Christmas figures, this and the Reindeer Stormtrooper, which I also have a review out on the channel for, these are really fun, and honestly, some of the best holiday figures out of the entire 4 or 5 years they've been doing them now. I really enjoy these. Definitely worth a pickup if you want some Star Wars themed decorations for your office space or for your display room. But with that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did and you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to Blitz Transmissions. I've got awesome Star Wars content coming out all the time. If you're an ARC Trooper in my Patreon, you would have seen this review early. If you'd like access to early content, monthly giveaways, and other awesome benefits, the link to my Patreon is in the description below. Become an ARC Trooper for just $4.99 a month. If you'd like to see my reviews early, or you want to just support the YouTube channel more directly, you can also check out my YouTube channel membership, Rancor Battalion. For just 99 cents a month, you get access to all the reviews early as opposed to all the content, exclusive badges and priority replies in my comments section, and you get to vote on what I review next for the channel, just like the Patreon members do. If you'd like some Blitz Transmissions swag, you could head over to the Blitz Transmissions Armory over on Printify. Link to that is in the description below, as well as links to my Discord and all my social media. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll catch you for the next one, and may the Force be with you.
Breaking off. All units, fire at will. 1-2, pick your target. Too many, Captain. Watch your stabilizer, Gold 6. Anybody, cover me. I got 2 vultures on my tail. You've got to hold them here. Watch your left. I can't shake them. I'm hit. Where's our